Hello, my name is Anthony Vidana. I'm an aerospace Apollo engineer technician that worked on and down there working on the Apollo spacecrafts. This particular video is about Spacecraft 009. This is not Apollo 9, but actually the first Apollo, and it was considered the first suborbital spacecraft. It had everything the Apollo units had, except it didn't have people in it, and it was missing some components that was not necessary since a human was not in it. These pictures were accumulated by myself. Some are pictures that have never been seen before, hidden in somebody's desk or whatever, and I've bought some of these through found through other engineers and through buying them through auction. Anyway, Spacecraft 9 was a big deal at the time. At the time, I was a technician working on the inside of the bird and outside of it, and working on the command module and service modules. And we were working in a building called Building 290 in Downey. And we ran an integrated test on it and to see if it worked. It was they called it the ACE test, and it was kind of a big deal back then. It was going to be the first Apollo, although it didn't have the astronauts. It had a lot of the components, and the testing was the same. So my job was to come in the door and put something in that had to be installed or run a test or whatever they asked me to do. So I wasn't privileged to all the schedule and what was going on. That was with the test engineers and other engineers. We had like 60 to 70 engineers working on it. And anyway, this is not a video about the test procedures. I have another one I've done on that, about the A system and what we did there. But every day was a little different. We'd come in and we'd have different guys working on it, like Ed Lane, Carl Myers, and Ed Butler, and some of these other fellows I'd work with. I can't remember all their names, but that's just three that popped up. And I got in on the tail end of this thing. It was already going through the testing when I got transferred to this department. And so it was a real experience for me. I was really lost. I didn't know what was really going on. So, but I was there, and I was in the same boat with a lot of other people. They were doing the best they can. We didn't have a lot of documentation to work with, and there was no books published on this thing. There was we had the illustrators and other people coming in and looking to see what we did and what we tested, so they could write it all down. It was an interesting project, and it consumed a lot of hours. We were there, 12 hours a day, 7 days a week sometimes, and we were busy. Anyway, this particular Apollo got finished about November, and we shipped it off. It went to the Cape, and it did some more things in the Cape, and we went to the more final testing, and they launched it, and somewhere in February, and it returned. They tested the heat shield primarily on the re-entry. Here's a suborbital spacecraft, and it went to the Cape, and those are the pictures right now of the Cape as they're putting it together. And these are some of the photos that have never been seen, and I was lucky to get some of these photos and put them. I wanted to publish them so that people could see them too. I don't want to just put it on my desk and I've never seen this thing again until maybe I died, and then they sell it at auction. So anyway, this is what it was going on at the time, and it is confused with spacecraft Apollo 9, but it's not. It's the first Apollo. So. Well, thank you for watching my video, and this is the end of it. Thank you. Goodbye.